Looking forward to this as well when we get to hang out with our buddy FP, who's not only on the phone with us right now, but he's going to be in your seat tomorrow and in for dibs. So looking forward to that as well. All guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands? River Islands in Lathrop. Hello, FP. How we doing?
Can we talk about those first things you were talking about, not the Giants?
Like in a minute, yes, we can, but no, not yet, because
okay.
FP.
Right.
Like, can I just say this? You and I haven't had a chance to talk about this yet. This that we just watched, losing 2 out of 3 at home to Toronto here in almost mid-July, with I think a front office that's totally in trouble if they don't make the playoffs. This was not okay. Like the urgency for this team, I don't know if fans realize how freaked out everything is behind the scenes. Do you agree with me there?
Yeah. I will say this. Yeah, I mean, whatever we're feeling as fans, they're probably feeling times 10, right? Because it's their livelihood. It's what they do for a living. But I was starting to feel really good about this team. They 2 out of 3, good teams. They could have taken 2 out of 3 from Cleveland with a break here or there. And then all of a sudden they come home and lose 2 out of 3 to a team that's really underperformed all season long. So it's just like I was saying yesterday, like right when I think they could pull this off, like this team looks good. I like what I'm seeing. They're running the bases well. They're hitting and Elliot Ramos and Chapman. And you start to go, okay, we can do this. Get in the playoffs. And then something like 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays happens. And now you're starting to doubt things again. It's just like, literally, the Giants fans need a couch and a psychiatrist right now because it's just you're going back and forth. And at least I am. I'll be walking on the ballpark after a broadcast talking to the other guys, and we were like, "This team's decent. This team's good." And then, a week later, we're bitching and moaning about things that could be better. So I don't know. I don't even know what to tell you guys. This is a hard one for fans. It's a hard one for people that are directly associated with the team. But things got to get better, and it just seems like there's something missing right now, and it's hard to put a finger on it, but it seems like there's something missing.
It's such a hard debate to buy or sell because of what we just saw, right? We saw Arizona and Texas in the World Series, and they didn't have awesome regular seasons. But then I'm looking at this Giant team, and they haven't been above 500 since late May. They've never been more than 2 games over 500 all year. And yet Snell looked great, I thought, in his comeback. Robbie Ray could be coming back. Cobb could be coming back. So they got some pitching to be added to the mix. That should help. I'd love to see them kind of add a bat of some kind, maybe somebody that they control for a couple of years contractually. But I don't know, FP. I mean, I'd rather see them buy than sell, but maybe it's a year where you do maybe a little bit of both. What do you think? What do you think the game plan for Farhan is?
I don't know. And that's coming from a guy that I know, way to have this guest on, but really, what do you do? And I think, no, this is something you prepare for all of it, right? We're going to be buyers. We're going to be sellers. Here's our plan if we buy. Here's our plan if we sell. And you go right to the trade deadline with both plans in place. And they're both sitting there, plan A, plan B. And you got it. Like, these guys are available. These guys are off limits. Everybody's available. Nobody's off limits. We are going to do whatever we want. We're going to go for it. And you have them both sitting there. And you see how the team is playing. It's almost like a team that plays hot going into the playoffs. You're like, watch out for them, even though they're a wild card. We saw it last year. So if they do start to lock in a little bit more and be a little bit more consistent, then I think you do buy. I think we've seen in the past years, it's the team that's playing well in September. And who cares about the regular season? And regular season games, in my opinion, are highly overrated as long as you're within striking distance to be on the rail coming down the stretch and get hot. And anybody can win the World Series. So I wouldn't want to be in Farhan's shoes right now because right when you think they've turned the corner, right when you think this big ocean liner is making one of those big wide turns and turning the season around, it just kind of quit making the turn against the Blue Jays. And I saw a lot of things today Gausman was just throwing his fastball. You guys probably didn't see because you're on the air. Like, he got one of his splits hit out by Elliot Ramos, and he just quit throwing the split, and he just overpowered him. And even if the game plan is, hey, guys, we're sitting on the split today, if he starts to show you that he's leaning on the heater, that game plan can change for a hitter in the middle of an at-bat. It can change for the whole team in the middle of a game where you're in the dugout like, hey, man, he's just pumping heaters. Let's sit on the heater. And guys were taking a lot of fastballs right down the middle today.
Yep.
It's been a kind of a problem all year for me, seeing fastballs taken right down the middle and hitting counts. But today, Gausman, I think he threw like 75, 77% fastballs. It's a guy known for a split, as you guys know, and as Giants fans know, because he used to be a Giant.
FP Santangelo with us here. Willard and Dibs. Larry's in for Dibs. What if I ask the question this way? On August 1st, the lineup comes out. You can have anybody on planet Earth who's active. Who would you like the shortstop to be for the San Francisco Giants?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah. Well, Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
Anybody on the planet? Do they have to be playing active?
I mean, active players who realistically could be.
Bo Bichette?
Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Okay.
Because he adds excitement. Look, guys, here's the thing. I like Bo Bichette. I mean, I do. He's having a down year, and he's in his own head, apparently. I talked to some of the people from Blue Jays today when I was at the ballpark. But they're just like he's in his own head, and his confidence is not where it needs to be. But maybe you give him a change of scenery. And today was good for the Blue Jays to see that it's warm here every day and the ball flies here every day. That's the way it is, right, guys? Yeah,
exactly.
Like this every day. It's 80 degrees. But I don't know what you do at shortstop. I started to say, here's the thing, and then I got ADD on you guys. But here's the thing. It wasn't a great crowd today. And I don't know if it was too hot or it was a weekday game. But when you have A-listers and you have celebrities and you have, players that people want to come to see, these are the days where it really pays off, right? Because you're saying you don't go like, oh, the team is under 500, they're battling, there's some good guys on the team. It's, I want to go see so-and-so play. And we're going to see so-and-so play today, even if it's a Wednesday day game or Thursday day game, whatever today is, Thursday day game, and it's going to be a little bit hot out here. We're going to go to the game today to see that guy. And that's where when you get the big off-season acquisition, a Juan Soto or whomever in the off-season, you'll have bigger crowds on days like today where it's the Blue Jays. Like, we're not Canadian. It's the Blue Jays. And they're okay. Vladdy's not playing that well. Bo Bichette's okay. But no one's – so that's when having that really big name comes in handy to put butts in the seats, I think. I was thinking that today. I don't know if that's way off base on what we're talking about, but that thought crossed my mind.
Ramos went deep again, man. I just love this kid. I interviewed him in spring training last year, and I said, you've been in the minors a long time. I mean, what's your mindset? How you feeling? And I thought I was going to get a guy who's like maybe bitter at the organization or, somehow has some narrative or some excuse or something. He's like, no. He's like, you know what? I need to go to AAA and prove that I can do it in AAA. And after I prove I can do it in AAA for a full year, then I've got a right to stand up and say, hey, what about me? What about me? And this was going into not this season, going into last season. And he didn't have a good year in AAA. And then he went back there this year and got off to a nice start. And now he's going to the All-Star game, FP. And I love watching this kid. And this kid does it all. And he's using right field. I'm just kind of wondering what you see. I know you watch this guy closely. What was his final frontier as far as adjustment-wise? Is it just knowing the zone, or what have the Giants done to get him to break through?
I don't know that the Giants have done anything. I think this is all Elliot Ramos deciding that he wanted to be a big leaguer. And what does it take to be a big leaguer? What's my work ethic going to be like to be a big leaguer? Off the field, on the field, everything. And apparently he's all grown up in the family situation, and is just really taking ownership in his career where, hey, this is what I need to do. And maybe along the lines of what he told you about AAA, this is a guy that doesn't make excuses. He's mature beyond his years. He's easy to root for. He's a wonderful dude. And he doesn't have a lot of holes in his swing at all. He's got that inside-out approach. It's old school. He stays inside of everything. He lets the ball travel. He actually uses his top hand, which you never see anymore in today's game. So if you have a guy that's looking to pull, so his shoulder's going to fly out early, he's going to fly open, he's susceptible to the changeup away or any off speed or even a fastball away. Elliot Ramos's first move is, number one, he's got tree trunks for his power source. Like, his legs are amazing. and he's got the big old culo, and he's just like he's hitting with his butt. Basically, he is. That's where all the power pitchers get their torque. That's where hitters get their torque. So he's hitting with his legs, his lower half, and he's letting the ball travel. And you watch his first move, and when you say hands inside the baseball, he keeps his hands close to his body. Everyone's like, hands inside the ball. What's that mean? He keeps his hands close to his body. So now if it's an inside pitch, he's still able to pull his hands in and get the barrel to the baseball on an inside pitch and hit it the other way with power. If it's an off-speed pitch, because he's got his hands close to his body, he could just extend them a little bit and drive that curveball the other way. If you really hang something like Gausman did today, he can catch it out front because he's in the right position with his hands. So there's no holes in his swing. A hole means if I'm pulling off early, you can throw a slider away. I got a big hole over there because I'm pulling off early. Or I can't get to the inside pitch, so you pound them in. Everybody's got holes in their swings. And when you have scouting reports and all the nerds in the back with the video and they're checking everything out, they're going to find your hole at the big league level. And when they find your hole or holes, in some of our cases, they'll wear it out until you show that you can get to the pitches that they're getting you out with. Right now, the book on Elliot Ramos was sliders away. He's laying off those. He's taking his walks. He's commanding the strike zone. He doesn't have a hole inside. He doesn't have a hole on off-speed pitches. He's a complete hitter. It's hard to hit 300 in today's game. He's hitting 300 with bombs and damage because he doesn't have that hole in his swing. So apparently he reapplied himself this offseason. He wanted to be an established big leaguer, and he did things on the field and off the field, so that happened. It's a pleasure to watch this guy play every day.
Yeah. FP, real quick, because I know you got a boogie. Are Farhan, Zaidi, and Bob Melvin linked?
What do you mean? Like,
I mean that the Giants just gave Farhan an extension before this year, and a lot of people seem to think that has given him a long leash because Bob Melvin just got here, and if you were going to make a GM change, he would want his own manager, all of that stuff. I hear that from people. What are your thoughts?
Well, come on, dude. You know the answer to this one. Nobody's ever linked. Whether you fire one, you fire the other. You hire one, you hire the other. Whatever anyone's making in a front office or a coaching staff, any organization in baseball can eat that contract.
There you go.
It gets weird when the guy's making like $10, $12 million a year, right? And you go, we got to eat $15 million to make this guy go away. So I don't think anybody's linked anywhere. And it's a performance-based industry, man. It's big boy sports. You either get the job done or you don't. Whether you're a broadcaster, whether you're a manager, whether you're a coach, whether you're a GM, whether you're a president, I guess the owners are kind of exempt from that. But if you're hired by the owner of a major league franchise and you're not getting the job done, whoever you are on any team, and everybody knows this isn't a news flash like, oh, God, FP came on today and he was brilliant. He said this. But everybody knows that, and those guys know it better than anybody. When we get pissed and we're calling 957 and screaming because the Niners, Giants, and Warriors suck, imagine those guys that do it for a living that have to go home and toss and turn and stare at the ceiling every night because they know more than anybody that they suck. So yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, man. If you get into big sports and it's a big boy business.
Yep. Just wanted to hear you say it out loud, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow. We'll see you then, buddy.
Yeah. Gabe and Farhan weren't linked, so nobody's linked.
Exactly right.
You and Dibs are linked. You guys are linked. You and Dibs are super duper linked.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
Like in a weird way, and I'll leave it at that.
That's your radio husband. That's your radio husband right there.
Yep.
He's gonna call you now. He's calling right now.
Oh, for sure he is. No. He's sweltering in heat playing golf in Reno. I think we're safe. So
still with his headphones on like a dork playing golf. Trust me, I already know.
No question. All right, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you.